The Montreal Canadiens now only have a 2-point lead for the last wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. The Dallas Stars going to catch up to Winnipeg Jets for a top spot in the Western Conference and the President's Trophy. And are the St. Louis Blues going to finish in the first wildcard spot ahead of the Minnesota Wild? We'll go to all the game recaps from the past couple of days and how it affected the standings coming up right now. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. Before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do this for all of you guys, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe down below. It really does help with the channel, and we're on the road to 500 subscribers. And don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below discussing all that I was discussing in today's video. So in today's video, we got another game recap video, and a lot of things affected the standings. So as usual, we'll start with the game recaps. There were 4 games that happened over on Monday, 10 happened yesterday over on Tuesday. So we'll get to all those games here. So we're going to start off with the games that happened over on Monday. As first, the Devils would blow multiple leads, but recovered and beat the Minnesota Wild 3-2 in a shootout in the second half of a home-and-home, as they have won 3 of 4 and improved to 40-29-7, while the Wild have lost 4 of 5 and fall to 41-28-6. That's a bad loss there for Minnesota as they lose ground in the playoff race. For the Devils, Luke Hughes had a goal and assist. He also scored in regulation, and Cotter and Bratt were 2 shootout goal scorers for the Devils in the win, with Nestroza and Boldy were 2 goal scorers for the Wild in the shootout loss. So it was an intriguing game there, but big 2 points there for New Jersey. Then we saw Philadelphia Flyers blow a lead but recovered and held on to beat the Nashville Predators 2-1. As Philly has won 3 straight and improved to 31-36-9, while the Predators have lost 3 straight, 8 of 10, and fall to 27-39-8. So it's a bad loss there for Nashville. For the Flyers, Konechny and Michkov both had 2 assists. Paling and Drysdale were 2 goal scorers, and Fedotov stopped 28-29 shots he faced in the win for the Flyers, while LaRue was a lone goal scorer for the Predators in the loss. So it was an intriguing game there. But big win there from Philadelphia to keep pace with the playoff spot. Then we saw Dallas Stars overcome an early deficit, scored 3 unanswered goals, including this goal here early in the first period from Wyatt Johnston. Remember, all clips are credited to Sportsnet, but Johnston was able to get the go-ahead goal. It wound up being the game winner, and Stars will take down the Seattle Kraken in the second half of a home-and-home 3-1. As the Stars have a 6-game win and 9-game point streak and improved to 49-21-4, while the Kraken have lost 5 of 6 and fall 31-38-6. That's a bad loss there for Seattle. For the Stars, Marchman and Lindell both had 2 assists. Duchesne, Johnson, and Granlund were 3 goal scorers, and dismissed up 35-36 shots he faced in the win, while Kakko was a lone goal scorer for the Kraken loss. So really good to see Kakko a new career high in points, but it was a really dominant win there from Dallas. And then we saw Calgary Flames overcome a 2-goal deficit and took down the Colorado Avalanche 3-2 in a shootout. Massive win there from Calgary, as they have won 5 of 7 and improved to 35-26-12, while the Avalanche fall to 45-26-4. So a bad loss there from Colorado. For the Flames, Lomberg and Klauka both had goal and assist in regulation, and Sharon Govich was a lone shootout goal scorer for Flames in the win, while O'Connor and Makar were 2 goal scorers for the Avalanche in the shootout loss. It was an intriguing game there, but a massive 2 points from Calgary to keep pace for a playoff spot. Those were the 4 games we saw over on Monday, going over to the 10 we saw over on Tuesday. First, we saw Washington Capitals go to a 2-goal lead and held on to beat the Boston Bruins 4-3. As Washington has ended their 3-game losing streak and improved to 48-17-9, while the Bruins have lost 9 straight, 12 of 14, and fall 30-36-9. And after Tuesday's game action, we're dead last in the Eastern Conference. I don't think I've ever seen a Boston Bruins team this bad. This team is just awful. For the Capitals, Ovechkin, who is now 4 goals away from Gretzky, and Strome both had goal and an assist, and Wilson and Dowd both also scored for the Capitals in the win, while Pastrnak scored twice, Geeky had 2 assists, and Lettieri also scored for the Bruins in the loss. It was an intriguing game there, but man, do those Bruins look brutal right now. Then we saw the Buffalo Sabres jump out to a 3-goal lead and handily beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2, as they've won 5 of 6, improved to 32-36-6, and have won all games they faced against Ottawa this year, while the Senators have fallen to 39-29-6. So a bad game there from Ottawa as they lose some ground in the standings. For the Sabres, Dahlin and Tuck both had goal and an assist. Samuelson had 2 assists, and McLeod, Thompson, Krebs also scored for the Sabres in the win, while Sanderson and Giroux were 2 goal scorers for the Senators in the loss. So it was an intriguing game there, but what a win there for the Buffalo Sabres. Then we saw Montreal Canadiens overcome a late deficit and stormed back to beat the Florida Panthers, scoring a very late game-tying goal. And then they scored this overtime winner here from Nick Suzuki on Orchestra Sportsnet. But Suzuki was able to give them the overtime win as they improved to 35-30-9, dropping the Panthers to 44-26-4. And that's a massive lost point there for Florida, who should have probably won that game. For the Canadians, Hudson had 3 assists, Suzuki scored twice, including the OT winner, and Anderson also scored for the Canadians in the win, while Samoskevich and Mikkola were 2 goal scorers for the Panthers in the loss. So at this point, all I have to say about this is the Florida Panthers are extremely lucky. They will probably not have to face the Montreal Canadiens in this year's first round series. So interesting note there. Then we saw Columbus Blue Jackets go to a 3-goal lead and doubled up the Nashville Predators 8-4, as the Jackets have won 3 of 4 and improved to 34-30-9, while the Predators have lost 4 straight 9 of 11 and fall 27-40-8. It's awful right now for Nashville. For the Jackets, Marchenko, who had a hat-trick and 8 assists, and Monahan, who had 2 goals and 2 assists, both had 4-point nights. Ventelli, who had 2 goals and 8 assists, and Johnson, who had 3 assists, both had 3-point nights. Fabro had a goal and 8 assists, and Werenski and Jenner both added 2 assists for the Jackets in the win, while Vangelis had 2 assists, and Osterley versus the Predators. Baron, Bunting, and Forsberg were the 4 goal scorers for Predators in the loss. So it was a really high-scoring, entertaining game, and one that was a massive 2 points there for the Jackets. Then we saw Tampa Bay Lightning break a tie in the second period, and for a second time in just a couple of days, took down the New York Islanders, this time 4-1, as they have won 4 straight 7 of 9 and improved to 44-25-5, keeping pace for top spot in the Atlantic, while the Islanders have lost 6 straight and fall 32-32-10. So that's a bad loss there for the Islanders. For the Bolts, Gensel had a goal and 8 assists, Kucherov and Point both had 2 assists, Bjorkstrand, Hedman, and Paul also scored, and Vasilevsky stopped 28-29 shots he faced in the win for the Bolts, while for the Islanders, Horvat was a lone goal scorer for the Islanders in the loss. It was an intriguing game there, but that's another bad loss to take for NYI. Then we saw the St. Louis Blues overcome a late deficit, scored with about 30 seconds left in regulation to tie the game, and then in overtime, thanks to this goal here from Cam Fowler and Orchestra Sportsnet, the Blues would actually come away with the victory, stunning the Detroit Red Wings as St. Louis wins 2-1 in overtime, as the Blues have won 10 straight and improved to 41-28-7, while the Red Wings have lost 5 of 7 and fall 34-33-7. So at least the Red Wings were able to get a point. That was a game in which they should have gotten 2. For the Blues, Fowler had a goal, which was the 0-2 winner, and assist. Carey also scored, and Binnington stopped 28-21 shots he faced in a win for St. Louis, while Compher was a lone goal scorer for Red Wings in the loss. So it was an intriguing game there, but that is a massive 2 points to take for St. Louis. Then we saw Utah Hockey Club open up a 2-goal lead and held on to beat the Calgary Flames 3-1, as they have a 3-game point streak and improved to 34-29-12. And interesting to note, in their first season in Utah, they didn't lose to Vancouver or Calgary. Had the Blues not gone this incredible winning streak, Utah would have been in the thick of it for a playoff spot. While for the Flames, they have lost 3 of 4 and fall 35-27-12, and the Flames' chances for a playoff spot are dwindling. For Utah, Stenlund, Keller, and Hayden were 3 goal scorers, and Vejmelka stopped 33-34 shots he faced in the win for Utah, while Anderson was a lone goal scorer for the Flames in the loss. So it was an intriguing game there, but really impressive victory there from Utah. Then we saw the Edmonton Oilers score 3 unanswered goals, including this goal here from Victor Arvidsson on Orchestra Sportsnet. At the time, it would make it 3-1 Oilers, and they would hold on for a 3-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights, as they have won 6 of 9 and improved to 43-26-5, while the Knights fall to 45-21-8 on the season, but do clinch a playoff spot even though they lost in this game. For the Oilers, Bouchard had 2 assists, and Wollman, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson were 3 goal scorers for the Oilers in the win, while Dorofeev had a goal and 8 assists, and Roy also scored for the Knights in the loss. So it was an intriguing game there. That was a game in which the Knights probably really wanted to win, but they do wind up falling in the hands of the Oilers, making that Pacific race a little bit tighter. Then we saw the Anaheim Ducks blow a late 2-goal lead, but recovered and beat the San Jose Sharks for the 3 in a shootout, prolonging their elimination dates, as they have won 3 of 4 and improved to 33-33-8, while the Sharks have lost 3 straight 5 of 7 and fall at 20-44-10. So at least the Sharks pick up a point here. For the Ducks, McTavish had 3 assists, Colangelo and Zegras both had goal and assist. Lacombe also scored in regulation, and McTavish was a lone show goal scorer for Ducks in the win, while Vlasic, Wenberg, and Mukahemadulin were 3 goal scorers for Sharks in the shootout loss. So it was an intriguing game there, but really impressive win there from San Jose. And the last game we saw over on Tuesday was between the Kings and the Jets, as the Kings scored the first and last 2 goals of the game, taking down Winnipeg 4-1, as they have won 6 of 8 and improved to 42-23-9, while the Jets have their 3-game win streak end and fall to 51-20-4. So that's a bad loss there for Winnipeg. For the Kings, Kempe, Kopitar, Kopitar, Kuzmenko all had goal and assist. Moore also scored, and Kemper stopped 19 and 20 shots he faced in the win for Los Angeles, while Perfetti was the goal scorer for the Jets in the loss. It was an intriguing game there, but it was a very dominant effort from LA to keep pace for top spots in the Pacific Division. So definitely some interesting games from our past couple of days. Now going over to see how it affected the standings as it sits right now. So at this current point in time, 7 teams in the Eastern Conference have still hit the 80-point plateau, including 5 teams who've hit the 90-point plateau, and 1 team, that's the Capitals, who've hit triple digits. They're at 105 points, the only team in the Eastern Conference to have clinched a playoff spot. After them, you have the 94-point Leafs, the 94-point Hurricanes, the 93-point Bolts, the 92-point Panthers, as well as the 87-point Devils and 84-point Sens, who are currently in the first wildcard position in the Eastern Conference. Then you have the 79-point Montreal Canadiens, who are in the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Following them, you have the 77-point Jackets and 77-point Rangers. Rangers didn't have to play the same amount of games. Jackets do still have a game in hand on Montreal, so if they use that wisely, they could still be tied for the last playoff spot. Then you have the Red Wings, who are currently 4 points back at 75 points, play the same amount of games. The Islanders, who are 5 points back at 74 points, also play the same amount of games. And then you have the Penguins, who are 8 points out, the Flyers, who are 8 points out, the Sabres, who are 9 points out, and the Bruins, who are 10 points out. And so there's still a lot of teams in the race for a wildcard spots in the Eastern Conference. We only go over to the Western Conference. 6 teams have hit the 90-point plateau, including 2 teams. That's the Stars and the Jets, who have hit the triple-digit mark. Stars at 102 points, Jets at 106 points, and both have also clinched playoff berth. After that, you have the 98-point Knights, who with that loss against the Edmonton and with some other help around the league, have also now clinched a playoff berth. They are the 4th team in the playoffs, so really good stuff there for Vegas. Then you have 94-point Colorado, 93-point Los Angeles, and 91-point Edmonton, who are all hit the 90-point plateau. Following them, you have the 89-point St. Louis Blues, who are now in the first wildcard position. Following that, you have the 88-point Minnesota Wild, who are in the second wildcard position. After that, you have the Calgary Flames, who are currently 6 points back of the Wild with a game in hand, and the Vancouver Canucks, who are at 81 points, 7 back of the Wild with a game in hand. So it's looking really bleak right now for Calgary and Vancouver to make the playoffs. Utah's currently 8 points back of Minnesota, play the same amount of games. So interesting note there, but still, it looks like the 8 Western teams are basically locked in already in the West, but still, it's a really interesting race to see who will get that second wildcard spot in the East, definitely. What are your guys' thoughts on all of that? That was all I'm going to talk for today. Any of the games surprised you from our past couple of days? And are you surprised by any team's placements in the standings as it sits right now? Definitely your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to talk for today. Remember to like this video, and if you're not to subscribe below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to without all of you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to comment down in the comment section below. I'd love your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. I also have a blog to news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. I'll link to that down in the description below. And can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.